Okay, so the additional mouths are as follows. So we left off with the sixth mouth being the large A, or your and your jaw fully extended. The next mouth shape we're going to do is the at the eighth frame. Going to insert a blank keyframe, and this is going to be the ooh, ooh, or oh. Now you could have two in here, um, and this is going to mess it up a little bit, but I would add almost um, a more cartoony kind of ooh. So we could have, you could even have ooh, where someone is woo, woo, and then have just kind of an O here might be a little bit better for your lip sync. So this is maybe an O. Now what we want to do is we want to actually just copy the first jaw and place it on this last one over here. Now what's going to happen is instead of the jaw going down and back, it's actually going to kind of go down and forward a little bit because your mouth is opening and you're kind of sticking your lips out. So we can move it slightly. Doesn't have to be a big move, so this is not a very big move at all. And down a little, just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this tween here. So now we see that the jaw is actually moving quite forward. Now, what I'm going to do is to get the jaw for this one, and this key that I've kind of left as a blank key here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a classic tween between these jaws, and that'll give us a nice smooth tween. And what will happen by tweening the jaws, we're going to make sure that when you do your mouth, your lip sync later on, all of your jaws are not going to pop because they're going to be in the right place because of these tweens for any kind of mouth movement that you do. And if there is any popping, you can always go back and just do a motion tween and add in a new mouth shape to smooth that out a little bit. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to create keyframes, and then I'm going to remove the tween from there. So now I get those. Now, what is this seventh frame, you might ask? Well, it's just a basic in between between this big A and this big O, and you can use it to fill in a lot of gaps. So what it's going to have is teeth. And we're going to have a bit of a tongue. Sometimes you could have a little bit of the start of that lip, and that way we could go from an A-O, A-O, A-O. All right. So next frame is going to be the TH. And essentially all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy both of these keyframes, the actual mouth and the jaw itself, because whether I'm saying t or th, for the most part, my teeth are going to be together. So I'm just going to copy it over here to make it a little bit simpler for myself. If you get extra keyframes, we want to make sure to keep it nice and tidy and get rid of any extra keyframes right off the bat. So all I would do is, what you may want to do is have this beside it so we can use the onion skinning, because I just want to see what this T looks like. And I'm just going to open it a little bit wider, not very much. And I'm going to insert the tongue, and I'm going to drop that tooth down a little bit and get rid of this. So it's kind of Ren and Stimpy. And then I can get rid of that keyframe that I was just using for the onion skinning and take the onion skinning off. So TH, same jaw as the E. The next one is F. And what I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to have the same thing. Oh, sorry, the TH, sorry, is the same jaw as the E. And that's what it says in the tutorial too. So my mistake. So this is the same jaw as the E. The next one, the F, is the same jaw as the T. And then we're going to get rid of that extra keyframe. So what we're going to do with the F is we're actually going to erase this again. And a good little tip is you can draw over with another color, because I want to kind of maintain that tooth line a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I want to kind of draw in so it looks as though biting your lip a little bit here. For F. Alright, so now that I got that drawn in, I can just go in and quickly, using my faucet, get rid of the unnecessary stuff, but I still have a little bit of the teeth there, and I can also go in and just cut this out like that. And then I would just color this the same color so it all looks the same. So F or V, and the last one, we're going to use the same jaw as the first frame. So we can paste that in, get rid of the tween. And if you want to have the first M beside there, just so it's going to... What I want to do is we want to create a look. So that your lips look a little bit puckered. Let's do it more like this. I think I want to get rid of this stuff on the edge here. Looks better if your character has the lips look a little bit something like this, which looks a little bit better. Okay. Cut down the lines a little bit. So we just want it to look a little bit. And for the most part, you're only going to be, you're only going to be seeing that mouth on ones, I would say. There we go. I can get rid of this one. Yeah, I just don't like that. Not liking it. Something more like that. Gonna look better, obviously, again with lips. But there you have it. So now you have your full mouth shapes. You're going to go and do this for each of the heads as you go. All right, so to finish this off, what I think I'm going to do, because I kind of messed some stuff up here, I'm just going to shut this down. And then reopen it. Okay, so once you have your front head, got your blinking, your quarter if you wanted. They've got some extra heads in here that are a little bit unnecessary for our purposes. So essentially what you'll need is that you'll have your 3/4 and you'll have your profile. You may have the back version if your character turns from the back. What I would recommend is having the turn, this is going to be a little bit weird to show you, but possibly having the turn go from profile to profile. It's going to be a little bit easier than having it if you're not going to do the back here. So essentially what you're going to be doing, I'm going to look at this a little bit smaller because that way I'm going to be able to see everything a little bit clearer. So I'm just going to get rid of the rest of this, because what you're going to have is you're going to have your front-on head, your 1/4, possibly your 3/4, your profile, and your back. And what we can do is we can move these a little bit closer together, I think, just to save on some space, but it's nice to have a little bit of space in between them so you can easily tell which is which. It is also good to go in and you could label your heads if you wanted, so you could label this one, go into the properties and just label it profile. We can call this one 1/4 head. So that way, really quickly at a glance, you can tell what's going on. So it's really easy to check it out and grab stuff as you're going. It's going to make it easier for you to build your characters. Okay, so because we've started here with the front on head, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take all of these and move them. Let's get that back head in there. I'm just going to take all these and I'm going to move them down here. I'll move them over top of that. And I'm going to work my way back. I'm going to copy all of these frames. Or you can start with the back if you wanted. I think I just lost the back, but that's okay. And I'm going to make sure that I'm selecting just the first frame and paste them in. I just want to make sure that you guys can see all of this. It's not a big deal. Whoops, if you don't. But so I selected that one, and it's good to have it labeled profile. Then I can go in and select the head. And you want to make sure you're selecting all the eyes as well. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to make sure I select all of that. I'm going to paste them. And I'm going to move my way back for the 3 heads. So I can copy, just select the first frame, paste, and then I can get rid of this filler. Shift F5 will allow me to get rid of any of those blank keyframes. Okay, so now essentially what I have is these heads are turning in the same direction, but what I need is for them to be turning the other way. So, easiest thing to do, I'm going to edit multiple frames because I want to make sure that I'm getting all of this stuff. And I might want to just go in a little bit bigger to make sure that I'm landing right on that frame. I want to edit multiple frames, and even though I could essentially go in and select all this, it might be all selected, but I like to just double check and draw a marquee around everything so I know that everything is selected. So all the eyes, all the jaws, all the mouths, every layer is selected. I'm going to go modify. I'm going to transform, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. Now all of these ones are looking in the opposite direction, and if you're lucky, oh, I just moved the profile, that's why. Don't select the profile when you do it. Who caught me doing that already? Okay, so I'll just go back. Make sure when you're using edit multiple frames that you're just editing up to the profile. Or sorry, up to the, this shouldn't have been profile, this should be labeled front on, that's why. Front view. Alright. So just make sure you select it up to there, and again, We want to make sure that everything's going to get selected. So we can select the layers by drawing a marquee, but we want to make sure that this edit in frames is all correct. Draw a marquee around it, modify, transform, flip horizontally. Now hopefully it'll work. So we've got front, we've got it turning this way and turning that way. Now the only weird thing that can happen, as you're seeing here, her side part is changing when she turns to the other side. So what you can do is you can fix it, and I can do that quite easily. All I have to do is switch the bangs. I don't know if it's going to be possible for me to just switch them like that. Not really. So what I probably end up doing is simply redrawing new bangs in on this side, or we can live our lives like Walt Disney and just say, hey, when she turns the other way, her part's always on the side that's facing away from us, or the part is always on the side that's facing towards us, like Ariel or Little Mermaid or any of those characters, okay? Good to just keep your life kind of simple, not worry too much about that. If you want to change it later on, it's really easy. You could make these all symbols and then later on change them, no problem. Okay, and that's it. So now you got a fully functional head turn that you can use. What you're going to want to do is have it all within a symbol like I had out here, so that once you have it in that symbol, you're going to be able to, I'm just going to guide the neck, or you can delete the neck after you're done building everything. We can go back out and by creating a longer timeline, we can see the head moving, and we could do some things in terms of tweening it on the outside, scaling it if you wanted to make things bigger, and then creating a motion tween, and we'll talk about that when you move into animation. And that is all.